the shortest day.
Okay, Peter, since you can't talk, maybe you can make yourself useful by typing up this voice memo script. Here goes. So start with something like, hi, it's James McCabe again, and maybe a belated happy 300th show, wishing you a speedy recovery, and thanking Brian for carrying the show, as usual. Hey, stop crying and type. Don't make me melt another Star Wars figure. Okay, now type something about how flattered I was, about the co-hosting idea. Tell Brian I'm happy to help anytime. Hey, don't give me that sad look. It was your idea. Okay, and, something about thank you or something to Sean Quinn for the whole dials versus switches thing. That was awesome advice, and I'm still thinking about it now. And, something about see you at the solstice run at sunrise on December 21st at Fresh Pond. That'll be good. All right, that looks great. Now, why don't you come make yourself useful and make me some Clyde Army chili?
Clyde Army
Kitchen.
Yes, yes.
Which way to the finish line? You can't get there from here.
Strap on your pee bag. Clyde Army. Running with scissors.
HWYRT.
How come you're not running right now? No, seriously, grab some headphones and go for a run while you listen.
Come on, break.
And now, without further ado, here are Brian and Peter.
Hey, Brian. It's Peter. I'm off the operating table, and I'm a week and a half into my recovery or so. I went a good 9 days without talking, Brian. But now I'm doing about 10 minutes an hour of full voice. So this is it. This is all I can do. So I hope you can do a show without me. I think you've lined up Internet Dan, and you two are just going to talk about St. Croix, which I know I'm excited to hear about, as I'm sure all the other Iwartian listeners are anxious to know what's to come for you and Dan in the January big race. Hey, that website looks good. Thanks, Dave Macklem. You're a national treasure. International treasure. Because you live in Japan. All right. I'm going to go rest the old cords. See you soon.
Hey, Dan. Welcome to the podcast, the Peterless podcast, for the time being, anyway.
Oh, well, thank you for having me.
I think we should take this opportunity, just you and I, in this cozy little spot, to talk about a cozy little island in the Caribbean called St. Croix, and its goofy little race called the St. Croix Scenic 50K, which isn't goofy at all. It's a monster challenge.
Which, for some reason, we've both signed up for.
Well, for years, I got a lot of encouraging chatter from our friend Kat, a longtime listener and perennial Boston marathon runner. And finally, in 2023, Peter and I went down there and I ran it. And as you know, it was just a little bit post-COVID for me, and probably not the best idea, but I clearly was well trained because I finished and I lived to tell about it, and I had a pretty good vacation on the other side of it. And that didn't deter you from wanting to go. So again, remind everybody why it is you chose this month particularly. What are you celebrating?
Well, I am graduating from chiropractic school, and it has been a long 3.5 year journey. So, what better to cap off getting your doctorate than flying to an island and running a 31-mile race, which apparently has a bit of elevation to it. But
and hopefully not needing chiropractic help right on the other side of it, but we'll see. Maybe.
yeah,
Who
we'll see
knows?
what happens.
So you want to get the goods. You want to know like what it's all about. We've done some texting. We've chatted a couple of times, but not really at any length. And I went through all my photos and I've looked over my Strava stuff, and I actually went back and listened to the episode way back when we talked about it. So I have as much memory as I can. And I'll start off by saying, first of all, St. Croix is beautiful. The beaches are outstanding. It's not undeveloped, but it's not, I was expecting resorts everywhere and sort of like, I don't know what, some mix of like Miami, I knew it wasn't like Miami, but like hotels everywhere. What you hear about like maybe Honolulu being or something like that. It's not like that at all. And it's way smaller. It's a pretty small island. And it's just very mellow. And so I loved that about it. And I had never been anywhere in a tropical location, not in the Caribbean, and I was just blown away. I'm like, oh, there really is like this topaz water or whatever color it is, and it really is this warm all the time, and every day is the same, and like I could get used to this. So it's fantastically beautiful, and for the two of us who are coming from the north. Are you in Wisconsin or Minnesota right now?
Minnesota.
Okay, so you're going to be coming from Minnesota. I'm going to be coming from Boston, and it's going to be right in the clutches of midwinter, and it's going to be like 85 degrees every day.
Yeah,
and it doesn't get that cool in the evening either, and you can get used to it very, very quickly. So, are you looking forward to that part of it?
Yes, but like even the temperature has me concerned. I'm most excited about the fact that like I get to go run around on a tropical island for fun.
Yeah.
I really want to I want to do well in this race, but I really want to focus on the fact of like this is a celebration. So I'm concerned about the temperature a little bit because like I've already had a 6-degree run in this training cycle. Like it got cold here pretty quick. So I have a sauna membership that I've done a couple of sessions with, and I've done a run finishing there so that I can try to hop into the sauna right after I get done running to try to simulate some of those things. But how are you handling that?
That's a good question. So the temperature hasn't dropped too badly until just recently here. In Boston, it's been like 30s and some 20s. And even the cold runs have been short ones. I haven't done a long run in the cold weather. That's coming this weekend. I have a 20 to do, and I think it's going to be in the 20s. That is a totally different kind of challenge. And right, it's horrendous training for running in 82 degrees in humidity on St. Croix. It's really the opposite of what we should be doing. So what are you going to do about it? I mean, I'm real lucky. I have a hot tub, so I go in that several times a week. I definitely do it after long runs, and that's not the same as a sauna, but getting in 104 degrees and just soaking in it, I think is helpful. Dr. Lollipop definitely advised doing that as much as possible. And I will say a couple runs where it was probably in the 40s, upper 40s, I gave up, I try to like wear an extra layer. I was like, this is miserable. And I just stripped it off and ran in a t-shirt and shorts. I'm like, this is the best. But when it gets colder and you can't really do that, and you have to have something on at least for wind protection, especially when you're sweating, I'm just going to try to keep, that extra layer on and just get real hot. I don't know. I don't know. I think, and I can tell you from that, the only other time I've done this, putting in the miles and doing the hills and doing the strength work, the stretching, obviously, which enables you to do that, will get you there. Like if you were going to win the race, I don't know how to tell you how to do that. If you want to complete it and enjoy yourself and not get injured, I think we're doing the right thing, which is just put in a whole heck of a lot of miles and do hill work. Now, the other thing I was going to say is, I think you're coming at it with the right attitude, and this is the same attitude I came at it with, which is if someone if I had to pay for an all-day walk around a tropical island, would I do that for a tour by foot around a tropical island? I'd be like, yeah, that's what I want. That's like a vacation day for me. I would love to do that. So that's basically how I saw this race, except hopefully a little quicker by foot. But you get to see an awful lot. I mean, you're in the jungle, you're up in the on their mountains, and you're looking at the ocean here and there. I mean, it's pretty great.
And I don't think you can really get that at many other races.
I mean, you'd have to be in a similar place. I think the Big Sur Marathon probably has some pretty great views, and some others. But the crazy thing about this one is, I mean, it is like a small local race that you're kind of parachuting in on.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, like, oh, well, like if you're trying to win it, let's just get rid of that idea here. The winning time last year was from Bridget Klein, who lives on the island, and she ran a 4:43.
That's hilarious. Yeah,
now,
so
that's a solid time for a road marathon.
Yeah.
And this is a mountainous / beach. We can talk about the terrain a little bit here because I have questions about that. But there are some serious climbs in this race, and she is banging out a crazy time.
Yes.
To take the W. So.
Yeah, and I think you either have to be like 22 years old and in phenomenal shape, or live on the island and be in phenomenal shape. I follow Kat on Strava, and I see her all of her training runs, and I see her out with her friends, and they are obviously, you're always going to have an advantage if you're able to train on the race course over and over and over again, and especially in the heat. So for them, this will be like the coolest time of the year.
Oh, I didn't even think of that this is their winter.
This is their primo running season, because it's only going to be, it's going to start in the 60s and get up into the 80s.
Going to be bringing the salt.
Yeah. So, yeah. Do your electrolyte management. I know we talked about that earlier. I'm taking that so seriously these days. Even in the cold weather, I'm like loading up on the salts just to keep the habit up, so I don't let it get ahead of me and say, "Oh, I'm doing fine. I can do that next half hour or next break." No, I'm being very, very regimented about that. I actually have to make an order from the feed to make sure I have all my gels and other stuff ready to go in January. How are you doing?
Take care of that.
Do you know what you're going to eat? Yeah.
Well, I'm playing a little bit with some different types of substances for fuel, because like what we talked about with the 50-mile race I did this fall, like I trained on a lot of solid food. I used nerds and candies and gummies and things like that, and a lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Well, one, I don't know what kind of resources I'm going to have access to when I fly in Friday for a Sunday race. And I think my Airbnb is actually up in the mountains. So like, I don't know how I'm going to get access to some of those things. So there's a few different companies, like Scratch is a pretty common one, that they just actually put out a video of how to make a gel out of their powder if you want that, versus having straight liquid fuel. So you can almost like make your own gel once you get there. There is also a couple other places. Precision is another gel. They just came out with like a jumbo gel that's 90 grams of carbs. And so like that alone, I could reduce how much I'm carrying and like how much I have to fuel. But then it's that little teeter-totter of can you stomach gel and for how long? Um, but I'm a big fan of Mortal Hydration, and they have some pretty salty combinations, and I'm a very salty sweater, so like I just ordered a bunch of that off of the feed, and that should be coming in pretty soon. And since I'm going to be the approach that I'm also taking with the cold weather is I'm trying to overdress so that I can almost simulate hotter environments, which is miserable. Let's just like it
It's
feels like you're running inside of a wet balloon, and it's just not fun.
it's so horrible.
Yeah.
And you know, all you need to do is take your hat off or unzip,
Yeah.
and you'd be so much
Yeah.
happier.
I ran in a raincoat
Oh no! Oh no!
and like, yeah. So like I'm preparing the best I can, but I think this is gonna like I focus so much on eating one thing only and like this is what I do and it was so regimented and then it came to race day and I couldn't do it. So I'm gonna kind of just be variable. I think we chatted about the aid stations are ample and
They
stocked
are.
with local food.
Yeah.
So
And they have goos and stuff like that. You know, it's a lot like a small sort of hometown ultra, if you think about that, in terms of like they're going to have what they have there. I don't know. I don't even know if there's a run store on the island, to tell you the truth. So if you're going to bring your products, bring your products. I'm absolutely bringing all of the gels and other sort of running specific fuels myself. So I have three different products that I use. I use a honey stinger gel. I have the maple syrup shooter because I
yeah,
love it.
the untapped,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like a little treat every time I get it. And I use Cis because they're totally easy to take in. They're very liquidy and they're high in electrolytes. And also that's what partly saved me down in the Grand Canyon, I believe anyway. And so I bring basically those three things per hour. And I usually take one every half hour, but you know, if I'm feeling hungry or I'm feeling lightheaded or I know I need extra salts or extra fuel, I always have extra. Now, if you're looking at 6-7 hours, that's an awful lot of baggage to carry. So I'm going to see how that goes. But the nice thing is I know I have what I need, and then I can supplement with whatever looks good at the aid stations. Because I think you're right. On race day, especially once you get like past mile 20, you don't know what your stomach's going to do. And if something looks good, what saved us in June was the watermelon. Peter bought a watermelon, sliced it up. None of us had planned it, and because it was hotter than we were expected, it absolutely was not only phenomenally tasting treat, but I think it actually enabled us to have a much better day than we were going to have otherwise. So you never know what's going to be there to be helpful.
Now, there's, I've kind of been blowing up your phone here and there I started as Accountability Buddies, but I love a good pun, and I started calling it Accountahilla Buddies. Because you tell me that there's some elevation change in this race.
Yeah, so I forget what the official numbers is, 3,700 feet or something of altitude, which over 31 miles is not, as much as probably either of us have done more challenging days, right? But it's sort of like how it happens. Just like Heartbreak Hill, if you go and walk up Heartbreak Hill, it's a little hill in the city. It's nothing.
Yeah.
It's not
Not a
even the
big deal.
biggest,
You
not
don't
even the
even notice
biggest
it.
hill in the Boston area by far. But it comes at right after mile 20. And it's like, that's not what I needed. And after a bunch of rolling hills, right? So this race is, I'll sort of take you through it as I remember it. And you were talking about footing too, because that changes a lot. There's a lot of different kind of terrain. I wouldn't say there's ever anything super technical unless it rained a lot the night before. Then bring your life preserver. because the puddles in the Jeep roads are intense. So the first 5 miles or so, 5, 6 miles, are on the road, on the shoreline, and it's a road. It's like a road that you would drive on, so it's paved. And I think anybody who lives on St. Croix has been there. Anytime you say a paved road, you always put it in quotes because they're okay.
Okay.
They're always
All right.
they're always in need of repair, but it's a normal paved road, and pretty flat. Then you turn into the jungle, onto some trails, and it had rained quite a bit on the nights prior to the race, and they had done some weed whacking and mowing, and you could hardly tell. Like, everything green grew so fast, and there was like grass up to your hips. And the trail probably had been, 3 feet wide at one point and was like maybe a foot wide. So it was, it didn't create much of a challenge, except it was like, where's the trail sometimes? And so then you start gaining some elevation, and it's at that point, certainly, the sun has come out. So it's gone from a pretty decent, whatever, mid 60s, upper 60s, to you're in the low 70s, and the sun's intense, and it's only going to get warmer. And so you sort of climb, and there's a couple of, you hit a little peak, and then you come down a little peak, and it's sort of rolling that way. And then, and it's a combination of sort of really broken up asphalt or concrete roads, a lot of just dirt / mud Jeep roads. And that's where you can encounter some monster puddles, to the point where many times I was sort of skirting across just the edge of the berm, holding on to like a vine or a tree branch, so I didn't fall back into the thing. But I didn't want to like go into the deep jungle, because I'm just wearing into the vegetation, really, because I'm you're just in shorts and whatever. You don't know what's gonna have thorns on it, or make it really difficult to move around, to walk around. Better to stay on the road. And
So when you say these puddles, now is this shallow enough that okay, if I have to step in the puddle, I'm okay?
I don't know.
Or is this?
I didn't.
Oh, okay. You didn't take the gamble, because in some instances, oh, it's shallow enough, I could just run through it. I'll be okay. My foot's wet, whatever.
Oh no.
But then there's some of you might go mid shin deep, and now you're in trouble.
No, it's pure. Well, in my experience, it was pure mud. It was like chocolate milk. You can't see anything, so you have no idea how deep it is. And also, even the surface coming up to the puddle, it's quite liquidy, muddy. It's already grabbing at your sneakers. And the last thing you want to do is step into something that's even knee deep and then have your sneakers sucked off. So that's what I was avoiding. I wasn't really afraid of crocodiles, but I did think maybe I'm going to lose my sneaker if I step right in here, right? And some of them are quite rutted. So sometimes there's, you're going down the middle trying to avoid the puddles on either side. So there was a bunch of that. And otherwise, yeah, it's sort of broken up, old, roads out there. There's a lot of old Jeep roads that are sort of unmaintained out in the mountains. Then right at about mile 19, okay, so you've run 19 miles or so. You've gone up and down. It's starting to get hot. Mm-hmm. Your stomach is doing whatever it's doing. And I was even at that point still feeling pretty good. So hopefully you're feeling pretty good. And this is like every marathon. Like, how long is your longest training run? 20-ish miles, right? So you're hitting the peak of your experience, or the edge of your experience, and then you basically come down vertically for at least a mile, if not a mile and a half. You're just pretty steadily losing altitude until you come down back to the shore at mile 20.
So we're all the way from our peaks.
Yes.
We are back down at beach level.
Yes.
Are we where we started?
No, you're on the other
beach?
side of the island. So you've actually crossed I think it's from the north to the south.
Okay, but
Right.
now we're back at sea level.
Absolutely sea level. Yep, you
Okay.
could go walk into the ocean. In fact, I really wanted to at one point. And then it's maybe a mile or so or of flat, and then there's a rest stop. I remember it very well. And then you climb what they call the Beast, and it's like a mile or a little more where you regain all of the altitude that you had lost, literally because it's the same mountain. You just climb that just straight, like you had just spent whatever 18 miles, sort of getting up there eventually. Now you do it in like one.
Lovely.
At when you're already past, all of your training knowledge and experience and everything. It's hard. So I would say that the race is really split into those two things. It's like the first 20 miles, which are challenging, no doubt, and fun. And then the next 10, the last 10 miles with that beast climb, really, whatever you have left is what you're left with for the last, 5 miles or so.
But we end at the beach again.
So then, yes, you do. I think there's like 2 rest stops after you've climbed the beast. And for me, I was destroyed. I was like trying to call for a pickup. Like I need to get extricated from this event. And actually, thankfully, in the end, there was no cell service, so I couldn't get picked up. Andrea did come up to meet me at the top. So you come around. And I was just like basically this walking, flailing idiot. I had totally lost all emotions. I was crying. I don't know. I was just a lost soul out there. And and the guys and gals at one of the rest stops up there were just like so enthusiastic and ebullient that someone was still going, and like they're like, "You got 3 miles left. Come on, go do it. Do you want a beer?" I was like, "No, I need to be done with this." They're like, "Yahoo, go get it." And that was just like that was enough just to sort of get me going. And so to your point, yes, there is another point where you come down. It's not quite as steep, but it is winding. So here's the difference between those two things. The Beast is straight up. You just climb straight up.
No switchbacks.
No switchbacks. And the way down from the Beast back down to the beach at Cane Bay, there are switchbacks. But it's still, your toes are jammed in the front of your shoes at the point where, if you're going to have blisters, you're going to know about them at that point. And then maybe a mile, maybe 3/4 of a mile, sort of flat run down the road to the beach. And then you're at the ocean, and it's over, and it's fantastic. But it's a hard day. I got to say, it's a hard day.
Well, if I've learned anything from running long distances, is I don't need toenails to survive. So,
No, you do not.
yeah, I think I've almost a full set again after my race in September. So it must be time to get after it again.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, mine are.
Do we have to run on the beach at all?
No, so there's, I came into this, it's a great question, knowing nothing. No, you don't run on the beach at all. Maybe the last 10 feet are actually on the sand. I had thought like, oh, you just run around the perimeter of the island. No, not at all. No.
What was the best thing you ate in that race?
No, I have no memory.
No memory, just
Zero
blacked it out,
memory.
huh?
Yeah,
Standard
completely.
ultra marathon running experience.
Yep. No, I have no idea what I ate. I have no, and you've asked me, and other folks have asked me, like, what, Brewmaster Will is coming too, and he's like, well, what do they have at the aid stations? I'm like, I have no idea. Oh, I will tell you that you can check a bag, and so you can reload halfway through.
Oh, perfect. That's big. Yeah, I can have a drop bag.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Could have some extra goodies up there in case I want something.
Exactly.
A standard spare pair of clean socks.
Mm-hmm. Pair of clean socks, maybe some extra gels and stuff that you didn't want to carry, and maybe some Body Glide. I don't know. Who knows?
I had a tiny tin of squirrel's nut butter
Mm-hmm.
in every single drop bag in the last race I was in.
Smart.
And that is the first race I haven't chafed.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's doing the trick.
The stuff works.
So how is your hill training going? And how is your training for a little event called the Soul Searching Solstice going?
The shortest day.
Well, thank you for asking. My hill training is going fine. I have mostly been relying on Rogue Hills on Fridays with November Project. So that's 4 miles of essentially hill repeats. And, even when I was training for the long run in June, my calves never really got there. I was having difficulty with my Achilles and my calves. And I will say that, probably 6 weeks ago or so, they finally, whatever they did, they loosened up, they strengthened up, all the parts started working in unison, and I could finally run the hills. And even though I know that during the event, anything steep, I'm going to walk, just like typical ultra deal that, I'm not going to gain anything by running hills, but the training is important. But that said, this weekend, I'm going to incorporate, I have a 20, and I'm going to incorporate some pretty big hills, hopefully, into that. So partly it's because of my schedule. I've lost some hill work over this week and last week, so maybe it's not a good idea to sort of double up your easy run with hills, but who cares, right? I'm calling it a race simulation. Whatever. We can justify anything. How about you? How's your training going? And how are those hills in the Midwest?
Limited, big time. Minnesota is pretty flat, which was one of my biggest concerns when I was training for my fall 50, especially because I was in Wisconsin and I had to drive an hour to find substantial hills. But I think the training is going fairly well. The coach that I'm working with, his philosophy, playing off of your doubling up on hills, is you have alternating weeks. 1 week is you're doing a lot of hills. And he's like, I'm not talking 1 or 2 days. He's like, you try to find hills on 3 of your runs. And then the next week you don't do them and you do speed work. And that's been going fairly well. Yeah.
I like that. I love the mix it up approach.
And then I'm still staying as consistent as I can with 1 day a week of just weightlifting. And I've actually been putting some time in on a rowing machine, but probably a little more than I should be, just because I look at the temperatures when I wake up in the morning and I'm like, gosh, I really don't want to run in a real feel of 0 today.
No. Nope.
But I'm trying to be consistent with it. And thankfully, I'm going to be spending about a week out in Western New York over by the Finger Lakes, almost your old stomping grounds.
Close.
And actually, I'm flying into Syracuse. So, yes. And I'm hoping to get some really good time in there.
It won't be warm. I can promise you that.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I will have a big old lake to cold plunge in, but that doesn't really help me prepare for the 80-degree weather.
But they have some hills.
Yes.
Well, awesome. Yeah, I'm looking at my time. 8 hours. I wonder if that was moving time or if that was elapsed time. It was long. I mean, yeah. After mile 20, I was completely toast. I'm looking at some of my splits here. 17 minutes, 17 minutes, 16 minutes, 15 minutes, 18 minutes. I was just a mess. But prior to that, I was moving right along for me anyway. So I do have some race goals and sort of in terms of time and output, but I'll be pleased just to finish and to have a good time. But, I was challenged the last time, and so I'm hoping to be. It's always a little test of did the training work? Am I in good shape for this?
Yeah.
Because you don't know, really. I mean, you could go run a half marathon, I guess, and, do a whole bunch of those. And you really know, yes, I know I'm going to get around this level. And then, whatever the course and the weather can conspire to either make it a better day or a worse day. And this, you find out when you finish.
Yeah, and that's the fun part. Like you've ran it, it's like you have something to compare it to, but like different races, especially in the world of trail running, it's not consistent. You're like, oh, I have a 50K PR. I'm like, well, that's great. But like that applies to that race course.
On that day.
Yeah. So I was basing some of my time goals for the Fall Superior off of what I did for output in last year's Solstice run. I banged out 41 miles in that time frame. That's a pancake flat course.
It sure is. And you have tons of support, and
Yeah, it did not translate at all.
Nope.
So, but do you have some like Chris Heisler classic A goal, B goal, C goal?
I'm working on them. I'm zeroing in on them. Like I have a time goal which is fairly modest. It's essentially like do better than last time. B goal, no. I have, the other ones are not anything like that. Like I want to get a picture with every aid station because I failed to do that last time. I talked to everybody, but this time I want to take my phone out and actually get pictures. And have better memories of all the folks that are supporting the race because it really was a really good part of it. And no, I don't. I have to work on that third goal. How about you?
I have always had this dream of running a sub 6 hour 50K, and I've gotten close. I'm sure you remember Pinelands Trail Run and kind of what a disaster that was.
For more than just you.
Oh my God. That would be nice, but I also want to keep in mind that if it comes down to having fun and enjoying the race, that needs to come before the time goal. Because every time that I have thrown a number out and like just forgot about it, I have felt better and I've had so much more fun just not looking at the clock. I do really like taking a picture with the people at the aid stations. That is some of like I think trail running people and people that volunteer at them are just the best. And so I think taking a picture with them, even sharing a high five in a moment with them is quite a boost for us and for them. So I think that's a very good goal. I've always had the goal of trying to pet as many dogs as I can. And I don't know how many dogs there's going to be on some random tropical island. But I just think it really comes down to pushing myself, but enjoying it all the same. I think a goal of eating like something unique at every aid station might be kind of fun as well without tiptoeing too far into the don't do anything new on race day.
Yeah.
And then I want to run straight into the ocean when I get done.
100%.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and so is there more people coming with you than Brewmaster Will?
Well, both of our spouses are coming, and that's it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And I will have some family representation as well. So my brother Tom, who I still baffled that you never met, who lived in Boston for 8 years.
Yeah. I mean,
I
maybe I met him, but maybe he left before we got to know each other really, and I never made the connection. That's totally possible.
Yeah, I'm sure we could find a November Project photo that you're both in and just oblivious to each other.
Probably.
But he'll be coming with his wife. I will be bringing my partner, and then my mom is coming as well.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the race is the start,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're gonna hang out for another 5 days. So
Fantastic.
yeah, no matter how it goes, you're on a tropical island.
You know what? The next day you just go back to the beach without the race.
Yeah.
Like you get to do the finish line every day.
That's it. Yeah, I like that mentality.
Yeah.
It's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love preloading sort of the trip with the event at the top. So you might think not doing that because I don't know if you're going to get injured, but you might be really tired, it might be really sore, You might have blisters or something, but whatever. You can deal with those. I think just having done the event, having whatever sort of nerves, they're gone, and you're gonna have a good story no matter how it goes. So you can tell that. And I'll tell you the other secret. I don't know if it's a flex because it's also like very nerdy, but you will see in every location, you'll someone in the hat and or the shirt, the race hat or the race shirt, like around the island. And it's just like a really cool sort of thing. There's so few people that do it, but it's a small island, right? And so, you'll run into somebody at a beach or, working at a bar or at the grocery store or whatever.
Wait, is this a cult?
Is what a cult? Isn't everything that's worth doing a cult?
But I love that there's buy-in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. Somebody should tell Gary Allen about this race.
I'm sure he'll be there.
Yeah. Oh, I would love it. Millinocket South. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the finish line? Which way to the finish line? You can't get there from here.
And that's this weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, Millinocket is this weekend on what is it, the 5th or the 6th? Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And I see that they're getting a lot of traction, and they already jumped on and made a comment about our lovely new website that's been launched.
Oh my gosh! Wow, things are happening.
Yes, things are happening over on the internet with Internet Dan.
Well, thanks for all you do, Dan, and keep running those hills. And we're in it. It's December. We've got like the big 4 weeks right here, and then we start to taper. So we're just pretty single mindset right now. And all you have to do is like finish all your coursework and classes and whatever else you have to do, practical stuff. I don't even know what's left. How much is left?
I'm done.
What? You finished?
Yeah. I got my diploma.
Oh my God, congratulations.
This weekend, and I am officially Dr. Internet Dan.
Doctor Dinnernet Dan.
Yeah.
I don't know
Give
what
the
that means.
fanfare on that one. But I'm done. So I get to walk across the stage next week and call it a day.
Congratulations. Oh, that's
Thank
so
you.
amazing. Oh, that's wonderful.
Trendsetter.
That's great. I did not know. I thought it was going to be closer to the end of the year. So this is great. Wow. No wonder you looked so relaxed and like you've slept more than 2 hours a night for the last 6 months.
Yeah, it was a grind to get to the finish and take that last board exam, but we're all done, and I'm ready to just run and have a good time and go back to regular life.
Whatever that means.
Whatever that entails. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about it on a tropical island with a couple of drinks in our hands.
That sounds fantastic.
All right. Thanks, Dan. Well, that's the show. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thanks, of course, to Internet Dan for talking about all things St. Croix, and congratulations on becoming a doctor of chiropractic. Thanks to James McCabe and Mary from Maine for sending in those fantastic voice memos. And thanks to Pete for using one of his 10 minutes per hour in recording that little intro for us. Pete, continue making that voice strong and come back to the show soon. I don't want to have to do this on my own again. I mean, it really wasn't that hard. It was fine, but I do miss you. And I'm very excited to hear your voice as it becomes clearer and stronger and younger, and you sound like you're 24 years old, because that's what's going to happen. And then you're going to find another host who's also 24 years old. Oh, the stuff of my nightmares. And of course, we don't do all of this alone. Thank you to Dave Macklem for building the HWIRT website. That's right. Go to hwirt.com and check it out. It's an archive site. You can see images and write-ups of all 300 plus shows we've done over the last 10 years. You can even verbal to events and get information about, of course, the Soul Searching Solstice Run and other events that we're participating in and Highwardians are participating in. You can even verbal and put your name out there so everybody knows that you're going to be joining on different running events. and you can even leave a voice memo through the website. That's right. Go investigate and let me know how you do it, because I haven't figured it out yet. Speaking of voice memos, here's Chelsea from Mount Washington. She sent this missive in just before Thanksgiving. I hope everybody's Thanksgiving was great, and we're looking forward to the rest of the holiday season. Have a great Millinocket, everybody. We'll talk to you on the other side.
Hello, Brian and Peter, and Hortians. This is Chelsea from Mount Washington. I'm not on Mount Washington right now, which is unusual for a Saturday. I am on a very crunchy, snowy rail trail with the Moose River right next to me, so it might be a little loud, so I'm sorry about that. But I'm really excited that I can actually participate in the SatStat chat, which I will be posting pictures for later. Anyway, just got done listening to your latest episode, number 302, and all I can really say from that episode is, Peter, you better heal up so we can hear your beautiful voice later on. And Mary from Maine, wow. Wow. Quite an inspiration to those of us who lack the motivation to really get out there and do what we really actually want to do, is enjoy the outside and exercise and feel really healthy and good about ourselves. So thank you for sharing that. In the spirit of thanks, this episode, or the next episode, will probably air after Thanksgiving, so I want to say that I'm grateful and thankful for you two, Brian and Peter, for coming back to the podcast. It's been a real joy to listen to your voices again on my runs and hikes, and whenever I can get outside, or even just a really long, kind of tedious drive back. It gives me some oomph to carry on. And right now it is exactly 2 weeks from Millinocket. Patrick and I will both be there. I'm sad that you two won't be there, but I'm sure you'll be there in spirit. And no matter what the weather, we will have a great time. And I'm sure lots of pictures will be taken, and we miss you. So carry on, and everyone have a great Thanksgiving, and bye.
The welcome signs are up on all the storefronts. The doors are open, come on in and warm up. We lace our shoes and we wait on the start gun. Then we run to a finish line that's in between two log trucks. And no matter what the distance, we're there to make a difference. 'Cause we run to start a ripple, 'cause a ripple starts a wave. We race to give more than we get, 'cause it's the Millinocket way. For a town that gives its whole heart, gotta give our whole hearts to. Make a wave so great that you can't stop it. That's why we all come run Millinocket. It's called the Magic City, and it really is one. The love you feel's as big as Mount Katahdin. Weather 26.2 or 13.1, we run, but the work we need to do is only half done. 'Cause no matter what the distance, we're there to make a difference. So we run to start a ripple, 'cause a ripple starts a wave. We race to give more than we get, 'cause it's the Millinocket way. For a town that gives its whole heart, gotta give our whole hearts to. Make a wave so great that you can't stop it. That's why we all come run Millinocket. Up the Golden Road we go. It's December, so there might be snow, but there's not a warmer place I know. So we run